Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Scott here, and today we're going to look at which free agent the Lakers need in 2019. The primary max free agents the Lakers will be targeting this summer are Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and Klay Thompson. Adding any one of them would push the Lakers over the top, and while it's likely none of them will sign with the Lakers, which one would the Lakers need the most if they had the chance to pick? The answer is a bit more complex than it seems, as they all have plenty of positives, but there's one player that stands out. Starting off with Durant, many would argue that he's the best player out of these three, and without a doubt he would push the Lakers closest to a championship. Pairing him with LeBron would be the most complete duo in the NBA, and would be almost unguardable for opposing teams. The case for Durant is obvious because of how talented he is, but there could be some major adjustments needed if he did sign with the Lakers. Between him and LeBron, the chemistry should be easy to form, but as far as the rest of the team, it would be challenging to fit everyone else into place. Brandon Ingram would lose a lot of his current scoring opportunities because he's used to getting the ball in spots where KD does. Those mid-post isolations we started to see him in would be taken up by KD, and he'd have to start acting as more of a facilitator and of course a jump shooter. It would also be a challenge for Kuzma, as he'd lose a lot of touches being downgraded to the third or even fourth option. Kuzma has had an easier time adapting to LeBron than Ingram, but it could be hard for him to adapt to playing with another high usage scorer on the roster. For Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart, they wouldn't have to adapt too much playing with KD, as they've already played over a season with similar scorers in Ingram and Kuzma, but of course their touches would be limited as well. Overall, KD would force some of the young players to change their roles, but he without a doubt would be the best talent they could add. Next up we have Kawhi Leonard, who's a bit of a tricky one. Adding him would make the Lakers probably the most complete perimeter defensive team in the league, and he could even take some nights off from guarding the best perimeter player, with the likes of Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram on the roster. LeBron would have to make a few more adjustments and give Kawhi some space to work, kinda like he did with Kyrie Irving in Cleveland. They're both too good of players not to be able to mesh, but it would be a little bit more of a challenge for him to mesh with Kawhi than with KD. For him and Brandon Ingram, they'd likely have a hard time meshing, as they both kind of play the same role for their current teams. They're similar personalities and like their space on the court, which would be a difficult adjustment mainly for Ingram, as he's obviously the inferior player. Kuzma might have a tougher time meshing with Kawhi than with KD, because Kawhi isn't really the playmaker that KD is and doesn't really run the point as much as him. For Lonzo Ball, he could really complement a player like Kawhi Leonard. Kyle Lowry has been a great facilitator for Kawhi Leonard this season, as he's become more of a pass-first point guard, so Lonzo Ball should only benefit from playing with a great player like Kawhi. Josh Hart is the ideal piece to any team with his unselfish game and off-ball play, so he would have no problem meshing with Kawhi either. Overall, Kawhi would mess with some of the chemistry just considering his difference in playstyle and personality, but his two-way talent would be a huge boost to the roster. As you can probably tell right now, neither KD or Kawhi were the ideal fit, and there was a reason I saved Klay Thompson for last. Klay would be a perfect fit for this team and actually is the piece that they're missing. They need a sharpshooter and a guy that doesn't require many touches to be effective. He's also a terrific defender and a pure shooting guard, which is a spot the Lakers haven't quite solidified yet. Having said that, Klay is probably the player the Lakers need the most in 2019, but if the Lakers are trying to be the most talented team in the league, then they probably want to go with KD. As far as the most likely free agent they can actually sign, that probably isn't Klay, as he seems destined to stay in Golden State, and KD and Kawhi have plenty of reasons not to sign with the Lakers. The choice probably will never be theirs, and they may want to just save their money for Anthony Davis in 2020 anyway, but if they have the chance to sign any of these guys, then they definitely should. That's all I have for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more Lakers content like this in 2019, then make sure you subscribe and drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.